son of sorrow. Your affliction upon her will soon be yours. Wait.
There you are, Otter. I've been looking for you everywhere, dude. What are you doing hanging out here at the market when you promised everyone you'd do a League Starter video, and League Start was like,
dude,
a while ago.
Roth, you know I've been gambling for focuses from Risu. I'm still trying to get the carrier call, man. Can't get it. SSF is hard.
You have a problem.
I do have a problem, and it's gambling. But I also have another problem, and that's the fact that I don't really know how to edit videos, or at least not very good at it. And our editor guy, he takes forever. And I think he's off playing Witch or something anyway.
He, sounds like he has good taste, but yeah, he definitely should work faster. It's been forever. How about we do it right now?
All right. It's a great idea.
All my ideas are great ideas.
This character right here, he's geared completely in SSF. So there are a ton of improvements that could be made across the board. That being said, that did not stop me from beating every boss in the game and clearing all the content. So no complaints.
But yeah, that makes sense. You're beating the whole game on solo self-bound gear without any of the uniques you need. Then someone in trade's gonna have a real easy time, and it'll be cheap on top of that. So why don't you show me what you're working with? The sooner we're done, the sooner we can get out of here and cool off with some sapphire flasks.
Another great idea. But first round's on you. Alright, so I just wanted to go through a little bit of the playstyle here with the build. Essentially, the minion's going to do all the work. Your little skeletons will shock and heal your companion, and all you really have to do is really run around. You can direct a minion. I generally direct a minion around with my curses and my exposure, frost bomb. You can also get aggressive and kind of start rolling through, run through packs.
I can't yet.
Here and just kind of wrap him around. The enemies here, which is how you can kind of clear pretty quickly. It's still not going to explode screens, but it's super comfy. Just roll through there, he's going to kill everything. A lot of people might not like it because you have to go back, pick up stuff, but I don't mind at all. This is Cozy Gaming 101. Every once in a while you can block if you got some crazy stuff happening on the screen. You get some uniques here and there. But this is generally it. You don't even really need curses or anything on anything other than rares and bosses.
Fortune favors me.
For these tougher rares here. But pretty much melts everything in the base game.
I need more time.
So you'll just walk through everything. He'll keep coming to you.
I can't yet. Weakling.
And you don't have to be this aggressive. You know, you can just let the minion do the work.
right, so it's been a pretty big patch. What's changed in terms of pros and cons? Anything?
Honestly, there's probably more pros now. It's super easy to play. It's an excellent league starter, probably the best league starter I've had since the game's come out. The bossing is super easy. It allows you to learn fights, dodge mechanics, while your beast does damage for you. It's still easy to gear. It's super cheap to start. We built this whole entire character through SSF. On that note, it's both SSF and hardcore viable. And probably most importantly, it's controller friendly for us controller Andes out there. There's dozens of us.
Dozens.
Baker's dozen.
There's dozens of us.
And for the cons, well, farming a beast is probably going to be the biggest pain. There's tons of usable beasts out there, but finding that specific one with all the combination of modifiers you want, I mean, it's a never-ending journey. If you just put a little bit of time into it, it should be all right. Other than that, some of the uniques can be harder to find on SSF, Scythe's Spear, the entire league. We haven't found a single one. And it is a little bit of a slower pace. It's not blasting screens, but it's super smooth and really enjoyable to play overall. Okay, for our skill gems. With our scepter, we have Malice Scepter, or whatever you have here. I socketed Vitality for the regen. Upwelling because we are never on full mana because we use blood magic, so free 50% increased damage. On Raise Shield, I threw Steadfast in here just to play around with Raise Shield. I haven't really before. On my companion, I have Fire Resistance, which allows me to take a few points off the tree, but this is the most base model minion that you could get as far as companions go. This guy is a Prowling Chimeral. It's my favorite. It's probably not the best, but I love the way it moves around and clears, so this is what I'm going with. Socketed here, I have Searing Flame 2, Infernal Legion 2. I only use level 2 here because he doesn't regen fast enough for level 3, but if you have a beast that can handle it, definitely throw in Infernal Legion level 3 here. Minion Mastery just for extra skill levels. Hulking Minions. I don't take the gigantic passive on a tree. It just gives me a little bit reservation save. But this is kind of a free socket. There's a lot of things that you could put in here that we'll put out with our Mythbusters videos. So keep an eye out for that. And Feeding Frenzy 2 for the more damage. For our little support staff here, we've got a Skeletal Storm Mage. He's our shock bot. We got Overcharge, Shock, Stormfire. Got a Skeletal Sniper here with Blind, Multi-Shot, Culling Strike. You could also put Maim here if you wanted. Skeletal Cleric, Meat Shield to keep him alive, Elemental Army, keep him alive, and keep him faster casting with Rapid Casting too. For our exposure, we use Frost Bomb, Magnified Area, Potent Exposure, Cooldown Recovery, and Cold Mastery for the extra levels, which is why I can run a level 18. Our Curse, of course, is Elemental Weakness, Titan Curse, Hex Bloom, Magnified Area 2, Cold Mastery for the extra levels, a Tame Beast Gem in case I come across any monsters I'd want to capture, and just for a little extra defense, Time of Need with Compressed Duration.
So I see you have a fine-looking feline there. Why are you running this cat as your beast?
So honestly, it's because the cat is my favorite companion. I've tried probably 50 different beasts out there, and the cat feels best for me, especially playing on controller. It's really smooth, works its way through packs. It has enough life that it does great single target DPS. Overall, it's the feel of the beast, even though it's incredibly hard to farm it.
What's a easier option to farm something?
So I would recommend go ahead and get a Boar out the gate. So as soon as you get to Act 3, head over to the Infested Barrens. We actually have a video about this we could pin into the comments. And you can take that Boar, you find a good combination of modifiers, all the way to the end game.
When you get to endgame, what would you replace the Boar with, maybe?
So later on in the game, if you're me, you're going to keep trying to farm the cat. But there are a ton of other options out there. Really, anything that works for you. Scoot Lizards, River Drakes, both of those with a haste mod would be great. The Primate with haste mod would be great. I'd stay away from Quadrillas and anything that's too big because they can kind of interrupt the damage from Infernal Legion, which can be a pain. You could farm the Chaos Temple, try to find a Scoot Lizard, or a Crested Behemoth, or even a Stoneclad Gorilla. All of those are pretty good. The Behemoth is a little slow for us. So one of the best beasts that we found in later game is the Frozen Mandibles, which is in the Ashen Forest. There's a little farming spot. We also have a video on that we can put in the comments. All right, now let's take a look at our gear layout. Starting off with the Scepter. The base type doesn't matter too much. Different Scepters are going to give you different benefits. The Malice Scepter is going to give you a little bit more crit, which can apply to the Infernal Legion gem. We're not going to talk about that right here, but we can in another video. Or if you jump in the Discord, we can discuss the details of that. We're still doing some research, and we'll come out with a new Mythbuster video covering all those details. But most importantly, on your Scepter here, you want minion skill levels. We're lucky enough to get 4 on this. Minion life and increased minion damage. Other niceties are minion regen, minion resistances, attributes, and increased spirit. For our armor, starting with a helmet, and you'll see this across all the armor here, we went with the armor counts against elemental damage just to test it out since it's new to the league. It seemed to work out so far pretty decently. But we have here is the armor base, looking for minion skills, life, attributes, and resistance. Primarily fire resistance and chaos resistance if we can get it. And in each one of these, I've socketed a strength rune. As you can see here, the greater robust runes. But these can mix and match and do whatever you need them to do. There's plenty of other options, especially if you're not playing SSF. Over to the shield. Again, armor-based shield, looking for strength. I got max res, which is nice. Max fire res, any of that stuff is going to be great, but we're sticking to the trend of life, resistances, fire and chaos, and attributes that you need. For the body armor, I went with an Ornate plate. I corrupted this. It was a perfect base type for 3 sockets, 3 runes in there, and then you can see the effects of my Ascendancy right there in the middle of it. Over to the gloves. The only dead stat I have on here is cold damage to attacks, but everything else is going to apply. Res, life, attributes. Armor also applies to elemental damage if you can get that as well. That should be helpful. On your boots, movement speed, most important stat. Lucky enough to get 35% here. The only stat that I would like to change out on this one is the 94 armor, but overall, nice pair of boots. Again, any attributes you need, any resistance that you need, fire, chaos, you're good to go. With the jewelry, starting with the belt, I use armor base here. Really, it's up to you. It's kind of a flexible spot. What I would prefer, though, other than the thorns there, I would rather armor, but otherwise, pretty nice belt. Life, res, attributes, life regeneration. For our rings, we got a ruby ring here with attributes, life, resistances, amethyst ring here with life and resistances. Be nice to get some attributes in there as well. For our amulet, we're looking at minion skills as our most important. Ideally, we would have 3, but 2's pretty nice. And then whatever attributes you need, I tried to slam max or increased percent strength. I got dexterity. It's all right. It gave me a chance to take away some of the dex off my tree and change that over to strength. So it's not the end of the world. Instead of rarity, would have preferred life here, but armor, a little bit of extra spirit doesn't hurt. For our flask, I prefer the gain charges and instant recovery. It's up to you though, whatever you're most comfortable with. Immunity to freeze, some chaos res, and cannot be stunned. Something else I want to add real quick here, if you have luck finding uniques and you can find this spear, or if you're on Trade League and you pick this up, highly recommend you get it as early as possible because it essentially doubles your damage with the aggravate 2 ignites. You just want to make sure that you're applying a bleed. The way that I'm doing that is with Spear Field right now. Ideally, you'd have bleed 3 on there and then rapid attacks. I have magnified area, but there's a lot of options for the other support gems you could have here. You could have rearm. You could use fortress. There's a ton of stuff here, but this alone with bleed on here is going to start guaranteeing some aggravates, which is going to double your damage. And you can weapon swap to this, or you can just use it in your main hand, and then in your offhand, make sure that you have a Purity of Fire Shrine Scepter, and then we're looking for the same stats: increased damage, increased life, minion skill levels, and Spirit's Nice, and other attributes. So I just wanted to add that so that folks that are playing on trade or are lucky enough to drop this spear, that's the setup that I would use there. Okay, pretty simple passive tree here. Coming out from the start, taking Brutal for the +10 strength, Sturdy Metal for the extra defense from your body armor, Relentless for the regen and the strength, because we are strength stacking, Mass Rejuvenation for your regen and regeneration for your ally, which will be the companion. Blade Catcher, mostly for the strength, but the extra defense against crits is nice. We take Beef and all the surrounding little nodes here, again, because we are strength stacking. For our jewels across the board, whether it's Emerald or a Ruby, you'll see we're just looking for minion life or companion life. Ideally, we'd have damage on here as well, so 20 damage, 20 companion life. That would be really what we're looking for, but this is an SSF character, so it's a little bit tougher to find that. But that's the trend here across the board, is life. Take the strength here, but we do not take brute strength. We don't need this. Down here, again, 20% life or 19% life here. Moving up on the tree, we are taking Prism Guard and the fire nodes leading up to it. We take Blood Magic because it's cool and it's a little bit easier to not have to manage your mana. Another companion jewel. Over here we take Holy Protector and Silent Guardian for the res and life. We take the life nodes around here, but we don't take Flesh Crafting because they'll just burn away their energy shield anyway with the Infernal Legion gem. Another jewel, max life. Most important right here, Crystalline Flesh for the max res, taking all the life nodes. A little bit of cooldown recovery. This isn't absolutely needed, but a little bit of AoE helps out with the clear. Moving up, life. We're taking Lord of Horrors here just for more efficiency reservation. Life, 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 and the damage nodes leading up to it. Take Regenerative Flesh just so they recoup a little bit of their damage. And then the fire res here. You don't need this max fire res if you have the fire resistance modifier on your pet. If you don't, we'll talk about how to do that. From here, we'll take all this minion damage and life. You can either take this or socket the Enormity gem to make your minion gigantic. It's up to you. One of the most important nodes, Vile Mending. The life regeneration here and 20% increased max life is killer. Max life. Necrotized Flesh here for the max life. The reduced life recovery doesn't seem to make too much of a difference. The minion rarely dies. So this is going to be huge boost to damage. And then Relentless Fallen for the move speed, mostly. Now, if you don't have the resistance mod, the fire resistance mod on your companion, what you can do is come down here, remove these nodes as well. And you're just going to come over to Living Death, Minion Fire Res, and then you're going to make sure that you take the Minion Fire Res here for the max Fire Res. Here, here, and here. For our Ascendancy, first thing we'll take is Cold Stoker. It's a no-brainer. Fire Res also counts as Cold and Lightning. Makes it super easy to cap out your resistances, especially early game. Now, in early game, you can also take Tantalum Alloy. Really, these are all up to you, but this can make it easier to cap out your res, especially if you're on SSF and you're having a hard time finding some pretty good gear. But generally, we're going to take Kitava Engraving first. Then we'll take Leather Bindings. And then from there, it's really up to you. But you are going to end up with Support Straps, Molten Symbol, Dedication to Kitava, and Flowing Metal. what you're going to do is you're going to come straight out and head north, and you're going to take as many intelligence nodes as you need, all the way up to Deadly Swarm. This should get you through Act 1 with skeletal snipers using Flame Wall. The second tree here has our swap to your companion. Most important thing you want here is Crystalline Flesh and Vile Mending. 3, most important, Necrotized Flesh here. If you want, Gigantic Following, unless you want to socket the gem. Lord of Horrors, and then all the life nodes. For early maps, we swap the tree over and we come down south here so that we can get Mass Rejuvenation, Beef, Silent Guardian, Holy Protector, and then the rest of the tree is pretty much the same. And then our endgame tree again.
The leveling is real smooth. If you have any questions, just put them down in the comments. We get back to everything pretty quick. We've seen a lot of people playing the build already.
We're really excited that a lot of you have started playing the build. We're having a lot of fun. Or some of you guys had never even got to the Atlas before, and that makes us feel really great. And we're really happy that we could help you along the way. Don't ever hesitate to jump in the Discord. You can DM either one of us if you want on Discord or on Reddit. You know, we're just happy to interact with you guys. If we can't get back to you right away, we'll get back to you as soon as we see that message. And we both log into both accounts. So
A bit of a split personality situation. If the account is rude to you, that's probably me.
yeah, if I ask for your number, it's me. We really can't tell you guys how thankful we are. We just hit 200 subs on YouTube, and we didn't think we would hit that many so fast. We've had a ton of people join the Discord to learn more about the build and Infernal Legion overall. A lot of you liked our Mythbuster videos. We're going to keep those going. Some of you have been asking, how do we really boost this build, or can we play it on other classes? We got a secret weapon coming out. It's something you will not want to miss.